Podcasting Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod. And we believed, we said his name, and he appeared, Rod.
Oh man, they were excited in London and Canada and Mexico. Oh, Jimmy, I
America and
honestly,
Scotland.
and
All of them.
all over.
Yeah.
Everyone was surprised. Everyone was surprised. I was excited. The biggest pop out of me all night long was for Joe Henry, a man who lost, Jimmy, a man who lost, gave
In
me
3
my
minutes.
greatest joy. Gave me my greatest joy.
That was awesome. We were a little worried it was Rusev, but then apparently Lana was at the was like at a hotel pool party thing. I'm like, okay, because I think they're going to bring them both back together because they should. So that's good. And then it's just like, oh, do it, just do it, just do it, just do it. I scared the crap out of my dog. My dog was ready to fight someone. Like, Daddy, let's go. Me and you, we're gonna take on the world. Who? If someone's coming in our house, I'm eating them. I don't even care. She was ready. Jackson, like 3 times in a row, said, "You were so loud, Dad. You were so loud." I popped. This is what makes wrestling fun. It really is. For those of you watching who aren't wrestling fans, maybe on Facebook, one of our friends or something like that, it's like watching a movie and something you want to have happen happens. It's exciting. It's fun. And it happened. And what a great year Joe Hendry has had.
That's the thing that I love the most, right? Here's a guy who figured out a gimmick for himself, worked that gimmick nonstop, and made something out of himself, right? I mean, here's a guy who fights on TNA. I don't even know where to find TNA programming. I don't even know what night TNA shows air, but I know about Joe Henry, and he got a huge rub by fighting the Legend Killer, a man who's been at WrestleMania 20 times. Joe Henry got to come out at WrestleMania for probably one of the biggest pops. I would say that his pop was probably bigger than Becky Lynch's return pop, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I think Dom might have gotten the biggest pop of the night. But no, Joe Hendry, it's something that doesn't happen, but it's happened twice now. And when Triple H is tweeting out, say his name and he appears, like, that's amazing. Let's keep it going. Okay, now he's done these 2 fun things. Let's whatever they want to do with TNA, rock and roll with that, and then get him on the main roster and do some big stuff. He got all his stuff in. He had Randy Orton mimic his move, Rod. That's awesome.
He sure did. And Orton was bopping his head when Joe Henry was coming out to the song. Everybody was waving their hands from side to side. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Joe Henry. I'm not surprised that our normal podcast partner, the old man, is again unable to join us after another late night WrestleMania. But I'm happy he's not here because he doesn't get Joe Henry. He comes on here and he talks Joe Henry down. He doesn't believe in him. And so I'm happy that he's not here to rain on our parade because, damn it, that was my favorite moment of WrestleMania. I understand there's huge moments last night and big moments we're still going to talk about yet tonight. But hands down, my favorite moment of WrestleMania was Joe Henry coming out.
The choke slam spot was funny as well because that's one of Joe Hendry's big things is choke slam. And Ryan's like, no, and just pokes him in the eye, and didn't say I'm poking you in the eye out loud like John Cena did many times in the main event tonight. This tonight is the reason why there's a 2-day WrestleMania, because before these 2 shows equaled what one of the WrestleManias was before. So it literally would have been minute for minute yesterday and today together, and we would have been exhausted and ready to go home and tired. And this time it felt like a quick WrestleMania tonight because it was like what 3:45, something like that. And it was banger, 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 banger until the very end. The Cena match was so slow, meant to be slow, but still was pretty slow. I thought this was one of the best WrestleMania nights we've ever had.
Wow. I think that's a pretty bold call. But it was, we do have a record breaking performance, right? We can say what we will about John Cena. I'm wearing his hoodie from back in the day when he was a good guy, but so that's definitely a thing, right? We didn't get KO exactly.
But we got KO, Joe Hendry.
But we did get Joe. So that's good. And I suppose you are correct in that we saw great matches this evening, right? The women's triple threat to start was incredible. I think the Priest McIntyre match was incredible. Like I talk down Drew from time to time on this podcast just to get after Chris, but that man is an amazing wrestler. He can do things that surprise you. and his back has to be the strongest back in the WWE. The things that he can take on his back. I mean, when he did that, the DDT onto the stairs, that had to hurt Drew more than it hurt anybody else.
Oh yeah.
That was insane. So shout out to Drew McIntyre. As much as I hate saying that, shout out to Drew. And then we had another huge moment. You mentioned it, Dom. That's gigantic.
We were talking about this a little bit in the couple minutes beforehand, but I think it might have just been all the fans were like, you know what? Yeah, you deserve it. Good job. You've had a great run over the past couple of years. Let's go. Built-in feud with Braun Breaker because he didn't lose it, with Penta because he wasn't involved, and obviously with Finn Balor. Judgment Day, don't really think they're going to be moving forward with that as a unit as they have been in the past. But good match too. Good match. Breaker's insane. He's unbelievable.
Oh, taking Carlito down from jumping from one table to the other was awesome. So, and now we hadn't seen a table break in quite a while. We saw 2 go last night, and then we saw another one go tonight.
Yeah.
So, they were saving it for WrestleMania. I appreciate that.
Okay, so let's kind of. Oh, and by the way, John Cena won, 17-time world champ. That's like 6th on our list, right?
Yeah, it certainly is.
Couple things with the main event, I guess, is just the fact that The Rock didn't plan out that he could be at WrestleMania or be to the up, going up to WrestleMania, just does not make any sense to me why that happened. They turned Cena heel in a very epic moment, crowd was still behind him today, but you expect that kind of from a WrestleMania crowd. Mm-hmm. I think winning the way he did is good just because it shows him he's going to be a bad guy. And Pat McAfee's got an interview with him tomorrow, and he's probably going to say, I'm going home. I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely saying I'm going home, but I'm with you. We got to come down on Dwayne for this. We really do. Like, don't involve yourself in the Cena heel turn just to be part of a moment if you can't then follow through on it. It's just absolutely weak sauce out of the guy. It is. You're filming some movie that nobody's going to care about because nobody's giving a shit about any of your last 6 movies, and everybody would have cared about this moment, and you couldn't even show up for the company that you have a hand in. You make huge money off of this company sitting on the board, Dwayne. What are you doing? You got enough money to get on a private jet, to
Travis
get on a
Scott
helicopter.
Coming down, I get that he's popular and everyone, loves Travis Scott. It was a nice moment for Cody to get back at him, but Travis Scott coming out is setting up for The Rock to come out, right? I mean, that's what that is. And it really just, it kind of fell a little flat. But he did sell the Crossroads a little too well. I think Cody's like, get the hell out of the ring.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair is an amazing opening match. And this is another match, Rod, just like the Damian Priest match with McIntyre that we were like, could have been better. Would have liked to see the one-on-one. They proved us wrong here. I mean, we knew it was going to be a good match. I didn't know it was going to be, I think, the match of the night. Got to look at it real quick, but I thought that they did such a terrific job with that. And I am so excited that that everyone was involved the entire time. That is how you do a triple threat. I hate it when they have 2 people wrestling and you have one person over in a corner for an hour and a half. It did not seem that way. They were all intermixed together a lot of the time, and it was quick, fast paced. Io Sky gets the win on a really good move. Love it. Loved every second of it, Rod.
I was a little worried at the beginning because it seemed a little too choreographed there as we were first getting going. You could tell some people were having to stop and wait, and guys were supposed to be getting on their back and things of that nature. But I became Chris for this feud, as you guys know. Like, I have turned on Rhea Ripley. I have no time for her anymore. I did not like the way that they put her into this match. I do not like the way that the crowd just absolutely goes crazy for her and all of the licking her lips and all of the crazed eyes that she does to the crowd. I don't like it. I don't like that Bianca Belair is now a fan hater. Like, everybody just hates her. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what Bianca ever did to have anybody hate her. I mean, I get people get stale, but to me, it's not Bianca being stale that she's getting booed. For some reason, everybody just turned on her out of nowhere, and I don't understand it, because I think Bianca Belair is a hell of a wrestler. Yeah, I think she cuts a great promo, and I think she does things the way that they need to be done, and she's now hated for it. So I loved when she basically told the crowd to kiss her ass. So it's time, Bianca. If the crowd doesn't like you, let's turn heel and let's just run roughshod through the women's roster, because
so you're saying instead of Ripley, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, other than Rhea Ripley, Bianca can absolutely wear out any woman on that roster. So let's go. Just start Scorched Earth Bianca. Let's go.
So maybe instead of coming out and hugging and kissing her stepdaughter, she just throws her through the plate glass window and just goes full heel, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying she has to do anything to her stepdaughter, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm ready for her to turn, right? Like maybe we don't have to bounce down to the ring anymore. You know what I mean? Like
Just walk
let's
down
stop all
with
that.
her name down the ramp only and all dark.
Yeah. Or let's cut
Like
the ponytail. Let's cut the ponytail, right? Let's maybe do
ooh,
that. You know,
maybe
let's
remove
not
the
have the ponytail
ponytail.
be around to be whipping that anymore. Like if everybody's gonna boo you for doing exactly what you've always done and used to be a fan favorite, then just say screw you. Like basically what we just saw out of Cena, right? Have
Mm.
Bianca take a turn out of Cena and be like, all I've ever done is give it up for you people, and you boo me. You boo me. Rhea Ripley cheated her way into this match, and you love her and you boo me. I'm ready for Scorched Earth Bianca.
Rhea Ripley with the vampire makeup on tonight, by the way. That was a white
Too many
face that she
masks.
had.
Too many masks. Why is everybody wearing masks when they're walking down to the ring? What's that about?
The mask thing is a luchador thing, which you love, I know. Of course, Finn Balor's not really a luchador. Finn Balor usually wears some kind of mask to WrestleMania, if you look back at it.
You have a Cody wore a
Man.
mask. Rhea wore a
Well,
mask.
Cody always wears that mask.
I don't need
Um, Priest and McIntyre was just, hey, you don't care about us? Fine, screw you all. We're gonna just take this and have again possible match of the night contender with Damian Priest and McIntyre. I loved the finish to that. The Claymore kick with the chair was done excellently.
It sure was. Here's my only problem with that match, and this is me being a bit pedantic here. But if you're gonna give me a Sin City street fight, let's maybe at least get out of the ring and into the crowd, or maybe have them start out in the street or something. Right? We basically had a Sin City street fight that only occurred in the ring. I didn't like that. We could have called it something else.
No
I really
holds
felt
barred
like
match,
we might.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, also Jimmy, you're in Vegas. Right, you're in Vegas. Why not have them fight on the strip? Figure out some way to do that. You're
There
WWE.
needed to be a slot machine somewhere involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was a
Okay.
great match. That's going to be my contender for match of the night because it sure as shit ain't the main event.
No, Braun Breaker, Mysterio, Penta, and Balor. We kind of already talked about most of this stuff here with Breaker just being unbelievable. I think
I
he
like that they
steps
didn't
up.
elevate Penta this fast. Even though I picked
No,
Penta,
yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
that they didn't elevate Penta this fast. It's good that we can still get a more gradual walk up for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'll be good. And then it sets up the feuds, for the next year with Mysterio. So that's great. AJ Styles, Logan Paul. It's funny. If you look at it on paper, solid match, great match, had a lot of good things back and forth. Our boy Rod made an
Loved it.
appearance. I'm not talking
Loved
about
it.
Jeff or Jerry or whatever the hell his name is. Karrion Kross made an appearance and tried to help. So,
But he's going to get blamed. You know he's going to get blamed. And we got an AJ Karrion Kross feud coming, which is great because give Karrion Kross some more TV time in actual
Sure.
matches. I'm ready for that.
Pulverizer is a very nice end of the move there, but where does Logan Paul go from here? I'm trying to figure out, Rod, where we're going with Jey Uso now. Because like we talked about yesterday, Gunther may be a matchup at Backlash, maybe. But do you want him to lose again right away because he's going to have to? Or do you throw a Drew McIntyre who just had a big win? Or do you throw a Logan Paul at him who just had a big win? I don't know.
I could do Logan Paul. I could stand having Logan Paul be on our TV screens a little bit more than showing up as a special event pop. That would be cool. I could deal with the Drew McIntyre. I could deal with the Damian Priest, right? I know he just lost, but Damian Priest, we could have a run with him. I suppose they're on different shows though, aren't they? I don't even remember. Is he on Raw or SmackDown?
Hey, there's going to be a draft coming up anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
That's a good point. So yeah, I like that. It's just we worry a little bit too much, I think, about future storytelling. You and I do, right? Because we'd like the our time spent to pay off, right? That's what it is with you and I. We're like, hey, we're watching this shit for 6 hours a week. Make it worth our while. And too often they just throw stuff together. So we'll see. Everything's gonna, you know how it is. The Raw after WrestleMania is important. Everything's gonna come out of tomorrow night, probably.
There will be a lot of big things tomorrow. I think Aleister Black's going to debut. I think Rusev might debut tomorrow.
No, they already told us that Black's doing 4.
Oh no, he's SmackDown. He's SmackDown. I'm sorry, that's right. Rusev will be tomorrow then. Yeah, that's right. Randy Orton and Joe Hendry. Again, a 3-minute match, but everything that we needed in there got in there. Joe Hendry over with 60,000 people. He was over with 70,000 people in Indianapolis. We were there for that. And I think I was louder for this one. I'm not going to lie. And I was pretty loud for that one.
We knew he was coming in the Rumble. Like we knew he was.
Yeah, we knew that was happening. We were, I'm not going to, Rod, Pete Dunne. DIY. Joe
Mhm.
Henry at WrestleMania. What else you want from me? What else do you want from me?
Here's what I want from you. When we make these things happen, can somebody win? Right?
Damn it.
DIY
Damn it.
loses. Ciampa loses his beard. Pete Dunne becomes Pete Dunne and barely shows up anymore. Joe Henry gets 3 minutes and loses. Can we get a positive outcome? But you're right, Jimmy. Our power in the wrestling world is now being felt, and I appreciate that. And here's something else. We've been going for 15 minutes now, Jimmy, and we haven't even mentioned Becky Lynch's name other than once, and she is a huge, phenomenal star.
Yes, and the man was back today. That's a transition, Rod. That's why you're the best in the business here, because we did have Liv and Raquel come out, and the reaction that they had to Becky Lynch coming out was also priceless, because Liv was scared shitless, and I love that.
She does that so well.
Lyra Valkyria does a good job in the ring. Just real quick, good idea with the wings on the arms. Just didn't work out. It's okay. The wings on the back could have been a little bit better. It's fine. Calm down. I saw a lot about that stuff. It was whatever. It was 5 minutes beforehand. Becky Lynch coming back was
down.
Great.
They were ridiculous. Jimmy.
They were, but calm down. It's
ridiculous. Fine. She looks like she should be on Sesame Street wearing those things, and now she's got 2 belts.
Yeah, Lyra 2 belts, and Becky comes back and gets a tremendous ovation. That was cool. I mean, I think everyone kind of knew that she was coming back, but still, that was a cool moment, and she's now right in there. Where she go from here? Oh wait, she's a tag team champion, so she's got all these tag teams to go against. Rod, she's got the Liv and Raquel,
yeah.
and then the other one.
Well, I mean, I guess Bayley could get herself another tag team partner. I got to pour one out for Bayley. All she ever does is exactly what they wanted to do, and they just completely jobbed her out of WrestleMania.
She's hurt, Rod. She got injured in the back.
Sure, she did.
Yeah,
sure she did, Jimmy.
Becky looked great. I mean, she looked great. Everything was.
I was happy she won the belts, because I was a little worried that maybe she'd come back and it'd be a one-off. But now that she's a tag team champ, like you said, we're certainly going to see a little bit more of her. So
yes, because those are defended all the time.
Yeah.
The tag team belts there. And then we have our main event, Cody Rhodes and John Cena. So this was definitely a John Cena main event match. Very, very slow, but it was a heel Cena, so it was even slower to start with. Did not like the pacing of the match really at all.
You didn't like seeing John Cena call it out as the match was going along, is what you're saying, Jim?
Dude. Whatever. He's the best. What are you going to do?
Why is he so pasty? Honestly, why is he so pasty? I mean, has he said in his career that he's against tanning? I don't understand why he's so pasty.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or orange. You got to pick one or the other. You can't just have a nice even tan. You know what I mean? It's WrestleMania, so it's either nothing or orange. The layout of the match, Rod, I know we've already been going for 17 minutes, but a super... How many super moves are we kicking out of? Okay, how many top rope stunners? How many super attitude adjustments? How many super whatevers are we just going to kick out of? Like, I get it, but also that was a lot.
I mean, it's a lot in every match, Jimmy. This is a new scourge that we are dealing with, where basically everybody's finisher is now just completely washed away anytime they fight in a match that's supposed to be a big deal. Like, why are we supposed to care about anybody's finisher if every single Tom, Dick, and Harry wrestler is going to kick out of somebody's finisher during a match? What's the friggin' point here? I don't get it. When you and I were kids, finishing moves were absolutely sacred. Okay, they were sacred. The minute somebody dropped a finisher on somebody, you knew that was the end of the match. And now they're useless. It's basically the same way that kicks are now useless. Super kicks are basically just like a punch to the face now. They don't matter anymore, and we're doing the same thing to finishers. I don't like it, but I'm sounding like an old man here.
Well, but you know what? It's funny because this is cyclical like everything else in wrestling is. I've had these conversations before. There was a time, years ago where this was happening. And then Vince McMahon, who was in charge at the time, obviously came in and said, nope, not doing any more of it. And then it never happened. And then it came back again. So, I mean, it's up and down. We're at a crest right now, or we're at the valley, depending on how you feel about it. I think that hopefully we're going to get back to let's calm down with kicking out of every super finisher.
I mean, it's, like you said, we're hitting them off the top ropes and people are still kicking out of them. I have a real big problem with that. And Jimmy, if you'll allow me before we close up shop here,
sure.
I have one more problem. I don't have a problem with hearing the glass break and Stone Cold Steve Austin driving an ATV and crashing it into the barrier. I don't have a problem with any of that. But I have a problem with the only way you can figure out getting Stone Cold Steve Austin out there is to read the friggin' attendance. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, hey, I'm going to tell you one thing. That person they didn't get hit, but they were up against the barrier, and the barrier hit it, and you could see the person go down. They're going to be sitting in the front row for a long time at WWE shows. So, I mean, when Nick Khan is there and he's the guy talking to you, you're doing okay. I mean,
Yeah,
on the ticket
like
it says on the ticket it says you die. We're not liable for anything. But yeah.
But that you could see that woman was a little bit spooked. You could see that Austin had to spend a couple extra seconds to be like, "Hey, my bad, my bad,
my
I
bad. Come
did
on
think
back.
to
We'll
myself
figure something out." Yeah,
that he was driving a little too fast. I mean, I know that like he was driving one of those things in his recent appearance on Stephanie's Places. We got a lot of Stephanie McMahon this weekend to try to hype up her podcast and her show.
Yeah. Oh, and then hey, there's a writer's room show coming on now. What the hell is that going to be?
You used to say there basically was no writing, so I'm going to be interested in a little while to see how that goes down for at least an episode or two.
I'm intrigued to what they're actually going to do. I mean, is this just like, are the writers like, oh great, now we have to film a whole nother thing that we're not actually doing, but we want to show them what it looks like? Is that what we're doing now?
Will it be
that's
kayfabe?
weird.
Will it not be kayfabe? You know what I mean? Like a writer's going to be playing characters. It's going to be funny to me.
It could go any which way. Big week for the Morgan Podcasting Network. We did WrestleMania Live yesterday. We did WrestleMania Live tonight. I believe on. Wait, are we doing something Monday?
We're gonna have an interview with a basketball interview. I don't know if we're going live.
Oh, we won't go live for that. Yeah. So we're gonna have a basketball interview live. Throw that on Thursday. On Tuesday at some point, we're going to also record. Softball may get in a little bit of a way, so I'll get with you on that one.
What? Well, shocker!
I know, shocker.
We're gonna have
the only reason we don't have softball today is because it's Easter, just for the record.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a new wrestling voice. That's exciting. We're gonna have a new person join us on the We Know show. See if we can get somebody else who might be able to rotate in and talk with us, because apparently, Jimmy, we have to start worrying about our other co-host and his bedtime. So it might be good to get somebody else in the rotation.
Yeah, will. And then, of course, Thursday, we're talking NFL draft, NBA playoffs. Was a scintillating day of NBA playoffs. I really think, Rod, if you were and I played on the Grizzlies, they wouldn't have lost by any more. Like, legitimately, I don't think they would have lost by any more.
The Pacers are getting jobbed, by the way. Pacers Bucks getting moved to NBA TV Tuesday night. Oklahoma City Memphis absolutely deserves to be the NBA TV series for two reasons. Oklahoma and Memphis are smaller markets, and that game was a complete friggin' travesty. The Pacers Bucks series has spice, it has big time stars, and it's probably going to be a much closer game. But Indiana always getting the shaft.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan Knows Podcasting Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod.
62,719 solid ass cats.
Well, 18. The lady got run over. Goodbye, net. Yeah.
We shouldn't even say that. Chris can't even